Buckle up, people, because I'm beyond stoked to talk about something that's totally shaking up how we create apps. It's called vibe coding, and it's powered by AI agents like Rocket by DHI Wise and Lovable. These tools let you build proper web and mobile apps in minutes, even if you've never coded a single line in your life. Just like a magical genie, you just type or say what you want, and boom, an app appears. I'm diving deep into how this works, and why it's a game changer, and why I'm obsessed with it. So let's jump in. So what's the deal with vibe coding? The term was thought out on February 2025 by none other than Andrej Karpathy, OpenAI's co-founder. He called it fully giving in to the vibes, embracing exponentials, and forgetting that the code even exists. Sounds pretty dope, right? You tell a large language model, think super smart AI, what you want your app to do, and voila, it writes the code for you. Then you write it, tweak, and keep going. It's less about micromanaging code and more about iterating fast. Here's why I'm hyped for this. Vibe coding flips traditional programming on its head. Instead of sweating over syntax, you simply focus on the big picture. Want a to-do list app? Just say, build me a to-do list app with a clean design, and you'll get there in mere minutes. This is because the AI churns out the code for you, and you're off to the races. It's intuitive, fast, and feels like magic. Without a doubt, this is the future of creating stuff online. It's empowering and just plain fun. And the thing is, it's really getting popular, with tools popping out on every corner, with one of the most popular being Rocket by DHI Wise and Lovable. Let's first talk about Rocket by DHI Wise, which is one of the slickest tools in the vibe coding game. DHI Wise is a startup that's been helping devs automate coding for years already and is regarded as one of the best in the business. In 2025, however, they turned the world upside down when they launched Rocket. This thing is a beast, mostly because of how simple it is to use. You just hop onto rocket.new, type something like, I need a mobile app for my bakery with a menu and an order form, and just sit back as Rocket's AI builds it. And the best thing is that it's all browser-based. There are no downloads, no fuss. Rocket spits out clean, modular code that's ready for production. It supports frameworks like React, Flutter, and Next.js, so your app isn't some half-baked prototype. It's extremely responsive, secure, and scalable, all while being easy to use. Honestly, I love this because it bridges design and development. You get a pro-level app without touching a code editor. Plus, Rocket's speed and polish makes it a must-try for anyone with an app idea. So if you've got one, please go and try it. What's wild is just how fast it works. Traditional coding takes literally weeks or months. Rocket, mere minutes. Building a portfolio site takes under 10 minutes, and you'll get a sleek, responsive page live. And the thing is, it's not just about speed. It's about letting you focus on your vision, not code. And honestly, I think that's a massive win for creators. However, Rocket's not the only player. Lovable is another vibe coding champ that's got a lot of people talking and hyped. Once again, it's built for non-coders, letting you create full-stack web apps by describing your idea in plain English. Say, I want a task manager with dark mode, and Lovable builds a UI, backend, and even hooks up a database. It uses React, Vite, and Tailwind for the front end and integrates with Supabase for data. You can edit visually or sync to GitHub for more control. I'm a big fan of Lovable's simplicity and also its pretty transparent nature. For example, it's got live rendering, so you see your app taking shape in real time. Plus, you own the code, which is huge for further customization. All in all, Lovable's perfect for beginners who want to dip their toes into app building without drowning in tech. But these two aren't the only tools you can use. Others are killing it too. Bolt.new is awesome for browser-based development. It runs on web containers, so you don't need to install anything. What's also great is that it supports Next.js and Svelte and deploys to Netlify with one click. We've also got Replic's Agent, which is great for quick builds and cloud development, mostly because of its built-in databases and storage. Each of these previously mentioned tools has its own unique vibe, but they all share one goal, making coding accessible. And I think this variety is dope because you can pick what fits your style. Enough about the players. It's time to get into the details. How does this AI magic actually happen? Well, it's all about large language models, or LLMs, AI systems trained on massive amounts of code and text. When you give it a prompt, for example, build a fitness tracker app, the LLM generates the code for you, essentially like an autocomplete on steroids. You review the output, tweak your prompt, and iterate. It's a feedback loop, not a one-shot deal. The entire process is iterative. Say I want a blog site. You start with create a blog with a homepage and comment section. The AI gives me a basic site. Maybe the comments don't work right, so I prompt fix the comment form to save data. The AI then updates the code so that it fits your requests. Essentially, the entire process feels like sculpting. You keep chipping away until it's perfect. And the whole ordeal feels like collaborating with a partner, not wrestling with a machine. However, you have to keep in mind, prompting is key to this process. Vague prompts like make a cool app simply won't cut it. You have to be specific. Build a web app with a login page, user profiles, and a search bar. Break big ideas into smaller prompts for better results. I've learned this the hard way, trust me. Clear prompts save time. You'll definitely need to understand prompting, so I'd suggest you follow some general tutorials to get the hang of it. The whole reason vibe coding is a big deal is because it tears down barriers established by decades of previous practices. Simply put, app development used to be for coders only. If you don't know how to program, you were stuck hiring devs or using clunky no-code platforms, or were forced to learn coding, which is a dry and painstaking process. Now though, tools like Rocket and Lovable let anyone, from entrepreneurs and artists to teachers, build custom apps. And because 82% of businesses face developer shortages, the backlogs are growing, which practically turns vibe coding into a lifeline. Honestly, I'm thrilled about this inclusivity. Imagine a small business owner building an app to track inventory, or a student creating a study tool. Vibe coding makes that possible. According to Y Combinator, in March 2025, 25% of their startups had 95% AI-generated code, which is unbelievable. It definitely shows how fast this is catching on, and the democratization of tech truly brings a whole new dimension to the sandbox that is coding. However, the question remains, what can you build with vibe coding? Well, pretty much anything. Rocket can whip up landing pages, dashboards, or SaaS apps. Lovable, for example, is great for prototypes like task managers or portfolios. Bolt's perfect for MVPs, like an e-commerce site, for example, and building one with the right skills can take less than 15 minutes. Many well-known people are using vibe coding as crazy too. Tech journalist Danny Fortson used vibe coding to build 2 video games in 40 minutes, one of which was Meatball Mania. Sure, it's a pretty rudimentary game. However, it's still something that would take days to make if he were to code it completely. On the other side of the spectrum, Kevin Roos, a complete non-coder, made a Lunchbox Buddy app to plan school lunches. As noted, neither of these aren't polished products, but they're proof that you can go from idea to app or game stupidly fast. I love how this sparks creativity. Anyone can experiment without fear or failure. However, vibe coding's not perfect. The code can and most certainly will have bugs, from glitch buttons and functions to general mistakes in the code or other anomalies. It's easy for AI to make a mistake, especially since we're still in the early days of vibe coding. And that said, a quick prompt will sort out things, but you still have to go through rigorous testing and QC, and that's where lack of coding knowledge might come in as problematic. Critics like Simon Wilson say if you don't understand the code, you might miss security flaws and other practically invisible issues to the untrained eye. Essentially, at this point, vibe coding's great for prototypes, but for critical apps like banking software, you will definitely need a proper dev to double check. Prompting is something that takes practice too. My first attempts were extremely messy because I wasn't clear, and the results I got were frustrating, to say the least. However, what I learned is that if you break prompts into steps, like add a login page first, then a dashboard, then the entire process is much smoother. The learning curve is definitely there, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. Because as hard as it is, it's 100 times easier than coding manually. Security is probably the biggest concern here. AI-generated code can have countless vulnerabilities if you don't audit it properly. Rocket and Lovable might produce clean code, but you should still test for hacks and test thoroughly. All in all, vibe coding's awesome for quick builds, but pair it with human surveillance for serious projects. It's a tool, not a replacement for expertise. So, are you ready to try it? Well, you're in luck. Rocket's free plan lets you mess around with limited credits. That said, if you're up for something more serious, paid plans start at $25 a month for more builds. Lovable's free tier is also pretty solid for small projects, with premium options being much more tailor-made for bigger apps. Bolt and Replit also have free plans that are just as good, and you can just hop on their sites, sign up, and start prompting. My tip: start small. Try building a simple app, something like a notes page or a portfolio. Use clear, specific, and blunt, obvious prompts. Test the output, and then iterate. Starting with a basic blog site will definitely let you get the hang of it. Also, check out tutorials on YouTube or X for prompt ideas and directions. I think diving in is the best way to learn, because the feeling of cracking the tool and creating a well-designed app is probably one of the most rewarding feelings out there. Vibe coding might not seem like much to coders and developers now. However, it's just getting started. AI is getting smarter with every second, and soon we might see tools that handle even crazier tasks, like building AI-powered apps with voice prompts. Imagine saying, "Make an app that analyzes my voice and suggests playlists," and it just happens right there before your eyes. Or imagine creating a full-on AA game as a one-man team through simple prompts. I'm literally geeking out over the possibilities. Startups are already drooling all over this. The Wall Street Journal said that in July 2025, vibe coding already started hitting commercial use cases. Solo creators are launching apps faster than ever. I think this is gonna explode, and fast. And I think we're about to see more tools, more features, and more people building cool stuff in an extremely short time frame. Honestly, I'm hooked on vibe coding because the democratization of such tech is extremely empowering. I've always had cool app ideas, but got constantly stuck learning code. Now, with Rocket, Lovable, and many others like them, I can build stuff in minutes. And how about you? Have you ever tried making an app? What are your app ideas you'd like to bring to life? And have you ever tried vibe coding? And if so, share your builds in the comments. I'd love to see what you made. And share your ideas if you'd like to try it out now. Also, while you're down there, smash that like button and subscribe for more tech deep dives. Let's keep the vibe going.